This is a little embarrassing. So, for the past, couple of months, I've been tracking this sound here. You can hear the thump. And, any laboratory I'm working in is going to be full of its fair share of thumping and clanging and screaming and cursing and that kind of thing. But do you hear the ringing? That's what I've been fighting. I've been trying to find out where this gentle bell tone after effect comes from every time I move even the smallest object. While I was doing some random microphone testing, I happened to notice that I was only picking it up on my desk when I was using my preferred microphone, my favorite vocal microphone, my weird Australian-made home HRP1. I love the way this thing sounds, and I realized that that's the shock mount it comes with, ringing. I took the shock mount down, actually. I replaced the factory elastics, which are taut like guitar strings, with some gentler ones, because I have my Neumann one that works well, and that's got some play in it. It's got some slack. This home one has nothing like that. It is taut to the point that apparently it rings like a bell. Anyway, it worked, replacing the factory elastics with used hair ties and wrapping the spring clips with, of all things, painter's tape. That reduced that ringing sound by 70-80%. It also looked terrible, and this is not a cheap mic, so I thought I'd go ahead and get something aftermarket. This is a Rycote whatever. It's the one that looks like it's built out of a combination of camera parts and clown parts. And it works much better. I briefly want to mention, I don't blame Home for shipping this generic shock mount with it. It is better than nothing. I've got all sorts of extremely sensitive microphones that did not ship with shock mounts, that you are supposed to go and get one if you want one, which, some of them, yeah, you get away with it very easily with no shock mount. Some of them, you're going to hear your air conditioning. There's no two ways about it. So the fact that it has a cheap one, I'm willing to forgive that, because I have, again, quite a few where they didn't bother to take the time. Anyway, let's put this weird clown-looking thing in there. It's not clown-sounding. It actually sounds perfectly good. So now I've got the Rycote installed, and first of all, you can hear it's not really ringing anymore. There's a little bit, but bear in mind there's all sorts of armatures around here, and that's mostly them ringing. It's not doing the ring like a bell shock mount trick. It's really a shame, because I do like this design. It's very simple, but it's quick to install, because the mic just drops in here and then it spring clips together. It's not unattractive, but yeah, that is extremely taut. It seems a little too tight to me. It seems like it's directly coupling the outer section to the inner section and completely negating the point of a shock mount. Interesting notes about this Rycote. This is what there's two main styles of threads you see on microphone mounts, and this is the normal adapter between the two. I use the tiny, coarser grain threads on the inside there, and that's actually the normal one on this Rycote shock mount. So their adapter is a little less efficient, because it's got this great big chunk with the little threads coming off of it, and it turns out it's much more efficient to build it this way. Oh, do they fit together? They do fit together. Of course they fit together. How could they not? Oh, the best adapter ever. All right. Anyway, notable things about this weird shock mount. It is made in England, apparently. Well, it says made in UK. I think England's part of the UK. Whatever the geopolitical situation in England is, I'm not up to date on it. That sounds very bad for the American education system. Ignore that bit. Anyway, it's made in the United Kingdom. It is all plastic, or composite, I guess you would say, because it doesn't look like cheap plastic. However, it is very nicely isolating. I'm really pleased with how that's doing. Anyway, you should be good to not hear that awful ringing noise anymore. This should be fixed for forever. I have concerns about it. I'm not sure whether those plastic shock mount components can be replaced like elastics can be. And I am a little concerned since it has like pegs that hold the microphone from the sides with like a little rubber socket at the end to squish against the surface. I am concerned it may eventually damage the finish. I can't say much about that. It's not damaged it so far. And even if it does, this is my workhorse mic that I use all the time and don't intend to sell. I'm not super concerned about aesthetics. I am concerned about getting the best isolation I reasonably can on this microphone. And yeah, I think that's doing a decent enough job of that. Well, I guess that's all the video I've got for right now. Thank you for watching, if you still are doing it, and I hope you have a nice evening.